Hello, read it here. Today we're going to read a story from her slash Am I the Asshole? Now, for our first story. Am I the asshole for kicking out one of my bridesmaids for showing up in the wrong dress? My 23F wedding was back on Saturday, December 31st, and I'm still getting backlash from this, so I want to know if this was an move. In the country I live in, it's currently winter, and we get a fair amount of snow, so my wedding was a winter-themed wedding. The color theme was forest green and gold. My dress was obviously white, and I chose the color of my bridesmaids' dresses to be forest green as well. My MOH's dress was black, and everyone was to wear gold accessories. I have this friend, we'll call her Kat, that I asked to be one of my bridesmaids. When we went dress shopping and I told them the color theme I was going for, Kat immediately expressed that she thought forest green was a bad choice. She said that thinks it's not a flattering color and thought I should choose something different and more girly. I said no because my wedding was winter themed and I thought the color would go perfect with the theme. She suggested a pink, blue, even a red. I said no, but thanks for your opinion. She found out my MOH's dress was black and asked if she could wear black too. I said no, only my MOH is wearing black. I paid for all the dresses. Fast forward to wedding day. Everyone's getting their hair and makeup done, and Kat shows up 30 minutes late, holding a bag that looked like it had a dress inside. I asked her what this was for. She told me it was for later on at the reception if she got uncomfortable and wanted to change after pictures. I was like, okay, cool. So fast forward, we're all dressed and walking down the stairs because the ceremony is beginning in 30 minutes, and we were going to take some pictures before. Kat is the last person to come down, and she's wearing a black dress. At the time, I was preoccupied taking pictures with my parents, but my MOH came over to me and made me aware of the situation. I confronted Kat and asked her what was going on. She said she hates her bridesmaid dress, as the color is ugly and makes her look gross, so she's wearing black. I told her please go back and change. She refused and started walking away from me. I said I'm going to ask her one more time, and if she doesn't oblige, I'm calling security and kicking her out. She began yelling at me to fuck off, so I called security and asked them to please escort her out. She started making a big scene yelling how I'm such a bitch, that I can't force her to wear anything, and that I'm a horrible, inconsiderate friend. The wedding went on, and it was truly amazing. Ever since the wedding, Kat has been blowing up my phone with texts saying some really nasty things and asking for the money back she spent on a black dress, since it was a waste and she didn't get to wear it. I had to block her number. Some of my other bridesmaids have been giving me shit, saying that it was a little harsh kicking her out and embarrassing her like that, and that maybe I should give her the money back. AITA for kicking her out? Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Not the asshole. She embarrassed herself. She agreed to wear the dress you picked out, and then deceitfully planned to change at the last moment in the hope that you'd just let her get away with it. She knew that you would tell her no. Think of being in a wedding as like playing a part in a play or a ballet or something. You get cast as bridesmaid, so you wear the costume that the artistic director has picked out for bridesmaids to wear. If you don't want to wear the costume, don't be in the show. But you can't just show up on opening night and say, I didn't like your costume choices, so I'm going to wear the same costume as this other character instead. Comment 2. It's pretty perfect. Even better, what Kat did is often called main character syndrome. Every event she's in, including ones where she cast herself, has to be about her. And if I were OP, I would publicly call Kat out on just those terms. Kat, as you know, you were not among my picks for Bridesmaid. You approached me and asked to be included. Did you plan to hijack this from the start? And oh, by the way, you got the who-ozu backward. I expect you to reimburse me for the dress I paid for and that you clearly had no intention of ever wearing. If OP is in the United States, that should flip the script pretty thoroughly. It's customary for bridesmaids to pay for their own dresses, though many brides do cover that cost. Comment 3. Agreed. It's pretty ballsy to pull the crap she pulled and then want you to pay for the dress. Find new friends. It doesn't sound like the other bridesmaids are worth your time either. Comment 4. What culture has the bride/groom paying for the bridesmaids' dresses? I've never heard of that. You buy your own costume that the play picks out to continue the analogy. Now, for our second story. Am I the asshole for saying I'll be driving myself and paying for my own room on the upcoming family vacation, so I won't have to be a babysitter? I, 23M, was repeatedly stuck playing the part of helper and babysitter on family outings. I had to move out of my parents' house because I kept being forced to help watch my 3 nephews. Last year, we took a family vacation in summer to the coast. I rode along with my parents, and they paid for my hotel room. Only, I had to share that room with 3 rowdy boys because my sister and her husband wanted a room to themselves. I was promised time to do my own things on the vacation, but instead, I ended up having to help with these kids. I complained to everyone about it and was reminded I was there for free. And then we pretty much just did only one thing I wanted to do, which was tour an art gallery. I like doing this whenever I'm at the coast, but the kids find it boring. This year, my parents have a beach trip planned for June, and they assumed I'd be riding along the same way as last year. But I refused. I said I'd be driving myself and paying for my own hotel stay to have my own room. My parents were shocked and tried to remind me of the cost. I said it was no worry. I've got a good job and a decent running car. I can more than afford it. That's when the buts started. I stated the previously listed things as why I'll be driving myself and paying for myself. I want to be able to enjoy this vacation as an adult and not be treated like a child like last year. My parents told my sister, and she called to blow up at me that I'll be ruining the vacation if I'm off doing my own thing while she has to wrangle her 3 boys. I ended up yelling at her that last year all she did was rope me into her mess. I didn't really get to do much of anything I wanted to do, and I was treated like the bad guy for wanting to just go to an art gallery. I'm a grown man. I deserve my own vacation too. Now my sister is not speaking to me, and my parents are still trying to convince me to just ride with them to keep the peace. I'm still refusing, but the pressure is getting to me. AITA for not giving in? I know they'll have a pretty hard time when they won't have another person there to help. Edit. It's barely been an hour since I posted, but my sister is apparently a Reddit lurker in the mornings, and she saw my post. Not only is she furious with me, but she's also upset no one in the comments is siding with her. To make it short, she went on a big rant about how it's so hard to be a parent to triplets. And the least I could do is help because I'm young and single, and she needs a break. I stood my ground on my decision, and now she's calling our parents to get them involved. I'm expecting a call from them any minute. Update. Well, I'm off work now, so I can tell more of what went down. I guess you could say it's over. My sister got her parents involved, they looked at my post, and were absolutely horrified by the continuous influx of commenters. Yes, they're very angry with me that I posted here, but I told them that if they just listened to me to begin with, I'd have never needed to. I'm sick of the whole keep the peace mentality that sacrifices me to placate my sister. They in turn went off on my sister, and to make a long story short, the whole vacation has been canceled. The hotel wasn't booked yet anyway, but my parents are arguing with my sister is blaming me, and my nephews are crying because they aren't going to the beach. My sister called me at lunch and basically implied I have no life, which is why I have time to help. I recorded that and told our parents, and that's currently what they're fighting about. Small update. I wasn't going to update again, but here's a little more. Parents said that they won't ever push babysitting of my nephews on me again, and have agreed that what happened last year was unfair to me. Right now, they're very angry with my sister for telling me I should help her because she thinks I have no life. My sister is playing the victim, and my brother-in-law is basically saying nope to the whole mess and spending most of his time at work. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Hotesholev. She's admitting she's ruining your vacation so as not to ruin her own. They're her kids and her responsibility, not the asshole. In fact, you're nicer than I would be. I'd just say no thanks. I've got other plans and avoid the family vacation altogether. Comment 2. Why can't the parents pay for the nanny/sitter either, or the grandparents watch their grandkids? I don't know how it is with triplets, but my twins are exhausting. So I get it, but they're my responsibility. That's parenting. Your vacations aren't solely your own anymore. I'm so mad for OP and his sister is an entitled brat. Comment 3. I can absolutely understand people who have kids wanting to vacation without them. But if that's the case, go on vacation without them. Arrange childcare, etc., and go on an adult trip. But don't pawn your kids off on someone else during a vacation so you can get free time. Bring them, deal with them. Also, sister having kids isn't anyone's problem except her and her partner. If they're angels, good for them. If they are exhausting, they're still your problem. NTA. But I'd skip the family trip entirely and go on a solo adult trip. Comment 4. NTA. And at this point, I would personally be saying, okay, you guys have collectively made it very clear that I'm not wanted as adult company, but only as free childcare. I think we would all be better taking a break from that dynamic in the interests of preserving family feeling. And so, I will not come on this year's vacation at all. I wish you guys all the best, but I will be vacationing alone somewhere else this year. Also, tell your parents that you can't keep the peace when someone else is responsible for breaking it. Your sister's determined steamrollering of your time and goodwill is not something that you can just lie down and take forever. She is a parent, and it's her job to care for her own children. Even on vacation, if someone does her the favor of helping out, then she owes them gratitude for the gift, not taking their help for granted, and assuming she can force them to sacrifice their entire vacation time. No one owes her that sacrifice. And no, she doesn't get to palm the kids off on other people overnight either. Now, for our third story. Am I the asshole for switching to regular milk to prove my lactose-intolerant roommate keeps stealing from me? Me and 2 other guys share an apartment together, and we split all the bills. The only thing we don't split costs on is groceries. Everyone's in charge of buying their own food, and we don't touch whatever doesn't belong to us in the fridge. We put our names on everything so no one gets mixed up. This issue has been going on almost a year, and I'm sick of it. One of my roommates keeps stealing my food. I get home from work, and containers with my leftovers are sometimes missing. They have my name written on it, or my stuff finishes too quick. My gallon of milk, for example. I buy almond milk because I like the taste, but it seems to finish after a week, even though I've only drank once or twice. I confronted her about this lots of times, and that's caused a lot of arguments. He outright denies it and tells me I'm crazy even though it's so obvious. My other roommate and I carpool together because we both work the same early morning shifts around the same area, so I know it's not him. It's always after we get back home and ours already left for work that I notice my food's gone. My roommates also had a similar problem, but not as often as I do. I'm guessing Kazar doesn't like what he buys. The funny thing is he buys a lot for himself and is even more stingy about his food. He will literally point out what's his when he comes back from grocery shopping and tells us not to touch it. Last week, my milk was nearly empty again, and I got fed up. I went to the liquor store and bought regular dairy milk. I drank what was left of my almond milk and refilled the gallon with the one I bought. This was to catch/prove R is the one stealing since he's lactose intolerant. The next day, Saturday, we get back from work and R is pissed. He yelled at me that he was stuck in the bathroom for 40 minutes with diarrhea because of my milk. He was using it to make a shake. I only responded with, "So, then you're the one who's been stealing?" He freaking exploded. Yeah, he admitted he was sometimes drinking my milk and eating my food, but he was more mad that I switched milks than the fact that he was caught. I told him I wouldn't have done that if he just stopped taking my stuff from the fridge or at least told the truth instead of trying to make it seem like I was making it up. My roommate backed me up and thought it was kind of funny he got payback for stealing from us. It's a little tense right now, and my roommate told me I was trying to convince him to agree to kick me out. Little does he know we're both looking to move somewhere else together cause we are sick of his shit. I told some buddies what happened, and a few think I was an asshole for that. I feel like I'm not in the wrong here. He was taking my food and not even owning up to it, and I wanted to prove it. Does that make me the asshole? Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Not the asshole. As you said, if he wasn't stealing your food, he wouldn't have had a problem. Comment 2. My sister did something similar. She's a fan of spicy food, so she always has some spicy salsa around to add to every food. We had a friend who always invited people and used our things in my sister's salsa, but denied it. One day my sister diluted the salsa content with garlic, oil, and vinegar. They stopped. Comment 3. Not the asshole. It's your food. You could have put your medicine in it, or even your pet's medication in it. You could have put a laxative in it, or even syrup of Ipecac. And I would still say NTA. When people steal food, lie about it, and don't replace it, they reap what they sow. Food is expensive, especially milk substitutes. Without replacing the food, he was essentially stealing money from your wallet. Comment 4. My ex-boyfriend's little sister was dating this complete fucking asshole who was known for, amongst other things, stealing any prescription drugs he could get his hands on. He had stolen from my ex's very elderly grandmother, and he even took the entire bottle of his girlfriend's Vicodin as soon as she got home from getting her wisdom teeth removed. Luck would have it that I had an empty bottle of RX painkillers, and he already knew that I had painkillers for a recent injury. We were at my ex's mom's house, where his sister was staying and frequently having her sleazebag BF over. While my ex and I did some research on how many laxatives a person can take without it becoming actually dangerous, picked some up and tossed them in my Vicodin bottle. I buried it in my zipped-up purse and accidentally left it in the bathroom. Less than an hour later, the bottle in my purse was empty. We told my ex's sister pretty soon after what was in there, along with reminders that I can put whatever the fuck I want in a prescription bottle with my name in it, in my own sealed purse, in a home I practically lived in. But it took years for her to admit that he got horribly ill that day. It's been over a decade, but my ex and I are still friends and love to laugh about it. Now, for our fourth story. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to shut the fuck up after she insulted my sister's thighs? I'm 30 and my 12-year-old sister is living with me right now because mom and pops are vulnerable, so it made more sense for me to care for my sis for the time being. She's a really great kid, and TBH, I feel in a lot of ways like she's my own kid because my mom and dad don't speak English, so I kind of had to raise my sis in ways that they couldn't. Hard to explain, but I'm sure anyone with a secondary culture will get what I mean. My mom and dad are great parents, but having an English-speaking person to guide you through shit when you live in an English-speaking country is invaluable MO, and my sister trusts me with stuff she won't necessarily trust my parents with. Anyway, my girlfriend was FaceTiming me, and my sister walked past in shorts and a t-shirt because it's hot. My sister GF waited till my sister had left the area, but not the room, and made a face and said, maybe feed her less opie, her thighs are kind of chunky. I saw red and told her to shut the fuck up, just came out my mouth, and immediately ended the call. My sister is a bit chubby, but FFS who says stuff like that about a 12-year-old girl. Literally, everybody I know has been texting me that I'm a piece of shit boyfriend and that how can I disrespect my GF like that? I am expecting an apology from her, but to my shock, everybody is expecting me to apologize. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Not the asshole. 12-year-old girls are incredibly vulnerable to body image issues. You're absolutely right to shut down such comments immediately. Comment 2. This. I was 12 when I was told I was overweight. I was 5 feet and 120 pounds, and while that is overweight, I still had over 6 years to grow into it. I had already had body dysmorphia and other issues, so this only made it worse. I stopped valuing myself as a person and felt like my weight defined me. I would eat to cope because I had no one to support me. My grandma was depressed because her daughter, my mom, died. She could barely take care of herself. I wouldn't change in front of people and elected to change in the independent shower stalls during gym class. By 11th grade, I was 210. While it wasn't just fat gain as I was very into weightlifting and went hard during gym classes, but I'm still fucked up to this day. Comment 3. My mom told me I had fat thighs when I was around that age too. Looking at pictures and thinking back to what I weighed, I was actually close to underweight for my height/age. Not the asshole. I'm so glad your sister has you to reassure her. Things like this can definitely fuck a person up for years. Speaking from experience. Comment 4. Not the asshole. Well done for standing up for your sister's talk like that. That no young girl should ever be judged on. I just hope she's now your ex and that you never apologize. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more.